Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here and welcome to my 2024 Ultimate Knife and EDC Gear Gift Guide. I've got 20 amazing items on this list ranging from extremely inexpensive to pretty expensive. If you have a loved one in your life that loves knives and EDC gear, maybe you're trying to drop a hint to your spouse, whatever the reason, I've got everything that you could possibly want to pick up this year. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. All of this stuff will be linked down in the description so that you can check it out. It does help my channel when you use those links before you buy something, but that's entirely up to you. Starting off here with number 20. This is an easy win for the holiday season. If you want to be a hero this year, they definitely want this. Let me tell you, whoever it is that you're buying a gift for, they want this. And what this is a knife box or a collection box, very specifically with NowPack foam. Everybody asks me about my cases, and this is 100% the way to go. I'm going to link the foam by itself. This is a 40 slot. You don't have to get the 40 slot. I'd recommend doing a pretty high number because whoever it is you're buying them for, they will fill it up. So a 40 slot is definitely a good size case, right? But the foam is what you want from NowPack because the foam that comes with these cases, when you buy the cases, that foam sucks. It's awful. You definitely want the NowPack stuff. It's nice and deep. So if you have a larger size knife or you've got some of the smaller size knives, right, it's going to fit. But save yourself some money. And instead of going with, this is a Pelican 1450, instead of going with the Pelican 1450, what you want to do is go with the Apache 3800, which is exactly the same size case. It's just way, way less money. I will link this on Amazon. What's the difference between the cases? Pelican is kind of the name brand, and yeah, it's slightly stronger, but unless you're out hurling the case at the ground or, you're launching it out of a catapult or something or trying to run over it with a monster truck, it's not going to make any difference. This is the way to go. I promise you. That's going to save you a ton of money, and it's going to make your loved one very, very happy that they can sort all of their knives together. Moving on to number 19. This is an easy one. This is the NAFS Lander. The standard one coming in at about 40 to 50 bucks is a great EDC knife. Just very generic, very straightforward, just a good tool. But the main thing about this knife, the best thing about this knife is how easy it is to customize, disassemble, and customize. There are a bajillion different scales out there, and I mean so many, it is impossible to actually count them all. Taking these scales off and replacing them with custom scales, which by the way will be linked down in the description, is insanely easy, making this a perfect gift idea for anybody. I mean, the size of it is incredibly welcoming and friendly to a wide range of people. It's a good design, of course, designed by Ben Peterson, which we all know and love. If you don't, he's a great guy. But a really, really good EDC knife all the way around. And, being able to pick up super inexpensive scales. I want to say scales range is as low as 20 bucks for this thing. And all the different, designs and things that people have come up with because they're open source. It just makes it an awesome and very inexpensive EDC gift idea, and I highly, highly recommend it. Moving on here to number 18. This is going to be, anywhere from more expensive to way more expensive, depending on which one you get. This has become my personal dedicated or favorite EDC knife. This is the Demco Shark Cub, and it has that shark lock. And if you're not familiar with the shark lock is a ridiculously durable locking system. But unlike the Triad lock or other, super high strength locking systems, this one is way easier to manipulate, or just super easy to manipulate in general. It's also an ambidextrous locking system, making it ideal for right or left-handed people or ambidextrous people in general. This is small, lightweight, and compact, so you're really maximizing the amount of utility that you get with something like this for, the total size of object you're carrying on your person. This is a more premium one. This is the stealth version with the DLC 20CV blade and the aluminum scales. You can also get a lightweight, like an injectable plastic version with, I think, the Steel's OS 10A for about 70 bucks. So your range here is going to be anywhere from 70 all the way up to about 230, depending on which version you want to get. You have the option for the DLC ones. They can go non-DLC. You have the slicer grind. You have the clip point blade. You have the shark's foot blade. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. They're all amazing. And this is legitimately one of my favorite compact EDC designs ever. Highly recommendable. Moving on here, something hyper inexpensive, not a knife, something that I recommend all the time. This is number 17, the Olight i3T. They're actually on Gen 2 now. This one has seen a ton of use in my truck. This is a $15 EDC flashlight. I own 5 of these. I love these flashlights. They are so good. The only thing that's bad about them, or you could say bad, is that they won't tail stand, but these will clip to your hat. They have 2 modes, right? They have the low mode, and then they have the secondary mode, which I think is up to about 200 lumens. I keep these like lights like this in areas where I just need a light really quick. It's been so handy in my truck because I drop things between the seat all the time. It's a single AAA flashlight, which is it's so easy, right? I mean, yeah, the rechargeable ones and the 18650 whatever, and they're super powerful, yada yada. That's fine, there's a place for those, but sometimes you just want a simple, durable flashlight. These things are exactly that. They're really just absolutely spectacular. And you know what? If you lose it, it's 15 bucks. They come in a bunch of different colors, just really, really cool, and just extremely, extremely handy. These have held up so well. I'm super impressed with them. I honestly don't even care. They don't tail stand. So highly recommendable. The Olight i3T, I think they're, again, like on Gen 2 now. Definitely worth it at $15. Moving on here to number 16, a very inexpensive but very good EDC pocket knife, and that is the Pyrite Light. I'm going to recommend this one in particular because it has the white injection mold scales. We'll get back to that here in just a second, but this is a button lock knife with AR RPM 9 for the steel, which is great. But very fidgety, very friendly, very ergonomic, just a good overall tool, and they sell for 30 bucks, which is really, really great. They also have pocket clip mounting positions for left and right hand carry, making it great whether you've got, you know, a loved one who is right or left-handed. Super friendly, very comfortable, very ergonomic, definitely recommendable over the standard Pyrite, which is really, really good. This one's a little bit bigger, and the injection mold plastic scales are contoured, right? Why the white one? I'll tell you why, because you can RIT dye them, which gives you an opportunity to, you know, kind of make something for your loved one and at the same time get them the color that they want. Starting with a white base for the scale material and then RIT dyeing it whatever color you want, which, by the way, I will link RIT dye down in the description so that you guys can pick that stuff up. But it's very, very easy. The RIT dye process for this stuff is so simple. But being able to, you know, get your significant other or your loved one or whoever a really nice, inexpensive EDC knife, and then the color that they like, right? Like their favorite color or whatever. It's just a fun idea, and it's an inexpensive, you know, way to get them something like this. So that's what I would recommend. Really, really great knife. And hey, if they like the white and black, kind of the Stormtrooper look, then there you go. You're good to go. The standard, like colorations though, they have a few different options. So if you don't want to RIT dye, you can just get something, you know, blue or green. I think they have those colors there too. Anyways, moving on here to number 15. Sometimes you've got somebody who needs more than just a knife. And I have a couple of different multi-tools that I recommend. One of them is definitely the Leatherman Wave Plus. This has been like the go-to EDC multi-tool for years. This is not a new thing. The Leatherman Wave has been around forever. This one has been used thoroughly. I have not been kind to this thing. What I love about these, and I've never had to actually replace them, but not only is it durable and it has like a bajillion different tools, all the stuff that you would imagine, right? You've got like your can openers, your bottle openers, your screwdrivers, right? Your scissors, stuff like that. I think they even have like a leather punch on there, but it's got a replaceable wire cutter. So if whoever, you know, you buy this for is really going to town on it and they use it on, and it's gotten through everything that I've needed it to go through. But if they ever try to use it for something that's just a little bit too hard for the wire cutters, you can replace those. You can pop that out and replace it for, I think, about 15 bucks. That's pretty cool. I am going to recommend that you get the pocket clip attachment, which I don't know why they sell that separately. Like, just give us the pocket clip on the thing. That makes me mad. but I would recommend that you pick that up. It'll be listed there with it as well. The coolest thing about, this particular system is not only do all these tools lock, but this, the Wave Plus actually has it's like a bit slot. Now these are specific bits. You can pick up a bit expansion pack, so to speak, but it turns your Leatherman Wave into a bit driver, and that's really cool, being able to switch between your flathead, your Phillips head, or various like Torx or Hex or whatever. You can get that bit expansion pack or extension pack, whatever you want to call that. So if you want to, you can do that. Some people are not going to care, but this is definitely the way to go. Like if they need more than just a knife, this will have two different blades on it, like the standard blade and the serrated blade, which is great. Nothing special for the steel materials there, but very, very recommendable. It is going to be expensive at 119 bucks, but this is a for life tool. This is a super durable and incredibly handy for life tool. Highly recommendable if you know somebody that needs a multi-tool and doesn't have one, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. There's a whole bunch of really inexpensive ones out there, and some of them are fine and some of them are junk, but one thing that you're going to hear consistently is that the Leatherman Wave is typically looked at as the best of the best. So highly recommendable. If you've got somebody who needs something a little bit more fancy in the multi-tool department, moving on here to number 14, we're going to take a look at the Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit MX. This is the nicest, and I mean as far as like fit and finish and presentation, this is essentially a luxury multi-tool here. This is noticeably nicer, noticeably smoother, noticeably more clicky. Everything about this screams quality. If you've got somebody who's a little bit nose in the air, should we just say that, right? You don't have to tell them I said that. If you've got somebody like that, but you still want to get them a super durable and incredibly useful multi-tool, it's going to be this guy. This guy comes with the clip. The presentation overall is better. I actually like the deployment for the blade. You'll have to excuse all the gunk that's on mine. I like the deployment for the blade better. I also like the lock release better. One thing that is a disadvantage to this guy over the Leatherman Wave is that you do not have the replaceable wire cutters. Now, these wire cutters have been great. They've stood up to everything that I've thrown at them. So unless they're really going at something that they shouldn't be using them on, which is unlikely, most people who are going to use stuff like this are probably going to know, right? But they might not need that. But if they do damage those, there's no way to switch them out. Like they just don't work anymore. The other thing it does not have is the bit slot thing. So it does have like a flat head and a Phillips head on it. But you're not going to be able to like buy a bit set, an expansion set or whatever for this knife, because it does not have that bit slot. So it's not gonna have that. But it will do pretty much everything else that the Leatherman Wave does. It's also lighter weight and more compact, and it's definitely more stylish. So I would say between the two, like if you've got somebody that's going to be using it all the time, constantly outside, throwing it around, beating it up, the Leatherman, like that's going to be the most capable, and it's a little bit less expensive. If you've got somebody who's going to use it periodically, probably wanting to keep their stuff nice, right? Still wants a super capable tool, definitely go with the Swiss tool. Highly recommend. Those are the only two. I've also got the Surge. It's a little bit too big for me, but those two are my favorite, my absolute favorite multi-tools out of any of them that I've got. So anyways, moving on here to number 13. This is one that will just put a smile on anyone's face if it's legal. Maybe don't buy anything if it's illegal and you have to look up your gravity knife laws. But the Riot XO-M in aluminum is definitely a knife that, I would say your loved one or your significant other or whoever is somewhat unlikely to have, because it's pretty new. The Riot XO model has been around for a bit, but only recently did they make these new ones out of aluminum, which made them far less expensive. I mean, you can still pick up the super premium titanium version if you want to, but the aluminum ones, depending on which steel, I think they have Nitro V and 154 CM. Those guys are going to range anywhere from 130 to 160 bucks. And they have this new like magnetic locking system on there, which makes it super cool. They will lock in the open position and in the closed position, making it very safe to operate versus the original that did not have a lock, but just really, really cool and really fun. This is the type of knife that you want to get for somebody who likes to fidget with their stuff. And they like not just the fact that it is a knife, but that it does something fun and unique, right? The XOM titanium is way more expensive, and that's going to turn a lot of people off. So this $129 to $160 version is definitely going to be a lot more appealing to a lot more people. It is super fun, and no, it is not. It's not weak or anything like that. It's not a knife that is 100% gimmick and no utility or anything like that. I always forget that my camera does not know what to do with the blue of this Blade HQ version, so we always have to have another knife out here in order to keep the camera from freaking out. But yeah, it's definitely going to put a smile on their face, and it's essentially a fun gift for pretty much anybody. My dad is always kind of the test subject with knives in this house, and he absolutely loves these gravity knives. They are so much fun, and they're really fun to play with. They will annoy you, so if you are buying a gift for your spouse, just understand they're going to want to play with this all the time, and eventually it will bother you. I can tell you because these bother my wife. So anyways, moving on here to, let's see where we're at, number 12. And we got to talk about Tactile pens. These are the only pens on this list. And if you are, if your loved one is interested in knives, there's a really good chance that they love pens and watches and other things like that. But a nice pen is something that I do recommend people pick up. And you can get a nice pen for not an insane amount of money, right? But these are the types of objects that people are like, why would a pen cost more than like a couple of bucks? And it's because, just like with anything else, some pens are just, built a little bit better, built a little bit nicer, made out of a little bit nicer materials. I think Tactile does a really good job of creating a very inviting, kind of universally appreciated luxury aesthetic. This is the Switch pen, which is really fun to play with, but it's got a titanium frame. It's a little slimmer, has some texturing here. This is the larger, fatter, like the full-size version with the side click. Has the button there. They also make bolt action pens. They make these pens out of aluminum, which is going to be your least expensive, right around, I think, 70 or 80 bucks. And then they also do copper, brass, they do titanium. Some of the hyper expensive ones are going to be made out of zirconium. So these pens are going to range anywhere from about $80 all the way up to about $400. But if you've got somebody in your life who you think would make good use of an EDC pen, especially if there's somebody who takes care of their stuff and keeps track of their stuff, right? This is a really, really nice dedicated office pen. And they're super durable as well. Very dependable. I keep one in my truck. I keep one on my bedside table. I also keep one in the junk drawer in the kitchen just to sign checks and stuff like that. But I absolutely love these pens. They are super comfortable. They have always worked. They've always written beautifully. I love the texturing. It just feels good. They look like something that's higher quality than a standard pen. So for that reason, highly recommended. Definitely take a look. Lots of different lengths and thicknesses as well. Moving on here to number 11. This is a really easy one. You guys see these all the time. I highly recommend both the bit set and the stubby driver that I use on this channel every single day. If you've got somebody who's really, really big into knives or pocket knives or all this stuff, it's an almost dead certainty that they either love taking things apart or they will need to take apart their knife at some point to do maintenance on it. Now, admittedly, this is not necessarily every single bit you could possibly need. You might want to buy a larger WIA set, but this bit set here between your T5 and your I think it goes up to T30. This will solve about 95% of issues involved with pocket knives because most pocket knives are going to be Torx, right? Usually T6 to T10, T6, T8, something like that. The stubby driver in particular is something that I highly recommend. Number one, it's magnetic, which is great. But number two, because of the size and shape, it allows you to really control the amount of torque that you're putting on those screws. And when you're working with something like a T6 head or some teeny tiny little thing, some of the drivers don't allow you to control exactly how much torque you're putting on there. So being able to micro adjust and not slip and ruin the head or make it impossible to back out or ruin your bit, right? I've definitely used bit drivers that are not optimized for this. And if you screw up one of the fasteners on the knife, it can really ruin the knife, right? Depending on how bad the damage is. So something like this, you can really crank on it and apply a ton of torque if you need to, if you're trying to break Loctite off of a pivot or something like that. And you can also really control it if you're trying to be a little bit more delicate with a frame screw or something like that. Extremely recommendable. You're looking at $13 for the driver and $22 for the set. So very, very inexpensive. If your loved one does not have a dedicated driver and bit set, I would highly recommend something like this. At least the driver, and then if you need something more expensive than that, I'll try to link some other stuff down there as well. Moving on here to number 10, and we're gonna talk about the Kershaw Livewire. OTFs are very often given as gifts, like just switchblades in general. A lot of times, you know, people who are just getting into the hobby, a lot of them end up salivating over these double action OTF switchblades. And number one, this is a switchblade, so you need to check your local laws and determine whether or not this kind of stuff is okay in your area. If it is, I do recommend getting a switchblade for a loved one. Number one, they are no more or less dangerous than any other pocket knife. A lot of people think that they are purely weapons, and I would argue that OTF knives are not only not universally designed as weapons, but they're also safer than most folding pocket knives. And the reason is because it takes deliberate force to retract the blade and deploy the blade. And when the blade is retracted into the handle, there is no way, essentially no way, that blade can be accidentally deployed and, you know, cut you. Whereas a folding knife sometimes can actually kind of slightly open up in your pocket. I mean, it's pretty rare, but it can happen. I've always argued that OTFs are significantly safer for you know, day-to-day use, and I always have felt like they are a bit more utilitarian just in the simplicity of deployment and retraction. I mean, deploy it, use it, and then put it away. It's so fast and easy. Now, you don't have to pick up this Ultim version of the Livewire. It is really, really cool. But the other good thing about the Livewire is that it's a USA, super dependable, super high quality double action OTF that comes in a wide variety of different colors. So you can kind of pick up the one that they want. The newer ones are, I believe, 20CV or MagnaCut. They might all be MagnaCut now, but they are definitely going to scratch that enthusiast itch. These are super high quality OTFs that compete with some of the best out there, the best production USA OTFs at this price point. So they are definitely going to be pricey, but they're actually the best priced when you consider the real competition, right up against your Guardian tactical knives, your Axial knives, your Microtech knives, right? A lot of stuff like that. These are going to be priced at a base of $229, making them expensive, but really, really nice. This will, especially if you've got somebody who has never handled or used an OTF, this will almost certainly put a huge smile on their face, and it'll be super dependable for years and years and years. Moving on here to number 9, we're going to go back to the inexpensive end of the knife world, and we're going to talk about not just this knife in particular. This is the Miguron Amperisim, but we're going to talk about Miguron knives in general in the $30 to $50 range, and also the fact that they have a ton of them in white G10. This again gives you an opportunity to get a super high quality, super inexpensive EDC knife for a spouse or loved one, and then RIT dye the scales and make them whatever color you want. They have so many awesome knives at this price point, and I just went and looked. A ton of them have these white scales. You can leave them white, but as you can see here, I mean, they do get kind of beat up and they kind of show wear and dirt and stuff like that over time. But if you RIT dye them, then I'm not saying it won't show any you know, dirt or any use from time, but it'll show it less and it'll be the color that they want. So this is a nice way to customize something and get something that's really, really nice for not a lot of money. Honestly, I would recommend essentially any Miguron knife between $30 and $50. This guy here is $30, making it an excellent knife on its own, but just incredible, incredible value for an EDC knife in general. And it's also got a nice straightforward shape and appearance. So it's going to appeal to a lot of people just because it is very minimal and very, very straightforward. Very folding steak knife, right? It's a pretty safe overall aesthetic. Really, really good tool, but hey, get it in whatever color you want. RIT dye. Seriously, RIT dyeing a knife is incredibly simple. So I should actually also provide a tutorial video linked down in the description as well. So watch out for that. Anyways, moving on here, let's talk about number 8. Another thing that's not a knife, but incredibly useful. This is this one in particular is a Rhino glow fob with tritium in it. What is so special about tritium? Well, the nice thing about tritium is that it always glows. Always. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need light to charge it or anything. It glows all the time. In fact, this will still be glowing far after we are gone. The tritium is expensive, and it's, I think, best if you're going to attach something like this to a keychain. A big piece of it is really, really good. This is expensive. This version here is cased in titanium. By the way, super durable. I've had this attached to my keys for over 2 years. The number of times that I have lost my keys or dropped my keys out in the garage and it's dark, or I've dropped them in the yard and then was able to find them immediately because this thing is always glowing, I cannot tell you. This has been a lifesaver. If you know somebody who is always losing their keys or dropping their keys, I'm not saying that this is something that's going to solve every problem for everybody, but it does make it way easier to find your keys. And because it glows all the time and not just right after it's been charged, it's not like they have to drop it in this optimal window between the time that the sun is in the sky and then the sun is out of the sky. And now they've dropped it and it's dark, but because the sun was recently in the sky, it charged it up. Like, that's always been kind of funny to me, obviously, flashlights and things like that. But this glows all the time, right? I think they make steel versions of this that start at like $40, and then your titanium ones are $50 or $60. It's a lot of money for a teeny tiny object, but man, it saves a ton of frustrations, and it really does look cool. So if not this, I'd recommend something, but honestly, tritium is the way to go. Not just a glow fob, because that's, in my opinion, it's essentially useless. You want something like tritium that's going to glow all the time, and definitely a big chunk of it like this. That's going to be the way to go. Moving on here to number 7, another simple thing, but absolutely something. This is probably something you want to buy in combination with something on this list as well. KPL, or knife pivot lube. Something that knife people and knife fanatics are absolutely obsessed with is maximizing the action or the feeling of smoothness on their knife. It's very likely that whoever you're buying this for will know exactly what to do with it. But just in case they don't, KPL is going to work just as well, if not better, than 10-weight nano oil. Basically, you take this little tip here, and what you're doing is you are dropping a single drop right on top of, in this case, it would be the detent ball. That's a little lump right there, the inside of that liner lock. You can also put it on the inside of the pivot. It doesn't take very much. A single bottle like this is the donut version, which just smells like donuts for some reason. But this is really, really good for your knife. Makes it super smooth, and I mean noticeably smoother. It's also going to protect it and clean it, which is just really, really great. So a little bottle like this is going to be about $9, and it will last you, I mean, ideally, like if you use it the way that you're supposed to, it'll last you for years, and it will keep the knife operating the way that it should. It's just such an inexpensive way to properly maintain your EDC cutting tool. Moving on here to number 6. If you have somebody in your life who breaks everything, they are super rough on their tools, and you don't want to buy them a pocket knife because they're going to use it like an idiot would use it. We all know someone like that. We all know someone. And obviously the answer for these people is use a fixed blade. Definitely use a fixed blade. But if you're still worried that they might break that fixed blade, your best bet is to buy them a fixed blade that's not super expensive, but very, very durable. And the answer here, in my opinion, is the same that it's been for a long time, and that's going to be the Cold Steel SRK. This has a very, very open and friendly ergonomic profile that's going to fit most hands. I wear an XL glove, so even if you know somebody that's got like huge hands, it should fit. Super grippy. This is the 6-inch version. They also have a 5-inch version. Nothing special here in terms of the blade steel, but most importantly, it's just got a super durable geometry that's good for a wide variety of different tasks, and they can beat on it. They can pound on this thing. It will take so much to break something like this. It really is hyper durable. And you know what? Even if they do, something like this, the Cold Steel SRK is only going to be $30 to $40 depending on the version that you get. This is the knife that you give to that outdoorsy person or that just that person who just uses tools really, really hard. Admittedly, there are a number of cold steel fixed blade products that would work, and honestly, there's a number of inexpensive fixed blades in general that will work, but cold steel in particular is known for making incredibly durable products, and the SRK has a good track record of just being a hyper durable blade. The blade steel is known for being incredibly tough, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, if the type of person that you would gift this to would probably dull pretty much anything. So it might not really matter that it's the most premium or has the best edge holding capabilities. This is just something that you give to somebody who needs a good, durable, fixed blade, and is going to beat the actual crap out of it. This is what I would do. So yeah, 100% recommendable. If you're buying a gift for that exact same type of person, but it must be a folding knife, which is hard because folding knives all have the same weakness. They fold, right? So they're nowhere near as strong as fixed blades. But if it has to be a folding knife and it also has to be inexpensive, the number one most recommendable knife is going to be the Cold Steel SR1 Lite. I have been recommending this knife as a gift for people like this for years. It is big, it is robust, it is thick, it's crazy, but most importantly, it utilizes the triad lock. If you're gonna beat the crap out of a folding knife, this is it. The Cold Steel Triad Lock, or you need something similar like the Scorpion Lock, which is also available in the form of the 8015 Lite, right? That's what you're gonna wanna look at. I mean, the Shark Lock is also just as strong, but they don't have anything really at this price point, which, by the way, is about $40 to $65. The SR1 Lite might be, and this thing is huge, by the way. Don't let the Lite fool you. It just means it's got the injectable plastic scales versus the premium one that comes in G10 and has better blade steel. But I believe that these are AUS 10, which is fine. This is a big, bulky, heavy-duty knife. Probably, to this day, the most durable dollar-for-dollar knife on the planet. At $40 for the Tanto version, or for some reason, 60 to 62 for the drop point version. It's just insane, right? I mean, this is as close to an indestructible folding knife as you're going to find out there. So that's what I would recommend. Moving on here to number 4, we have to talk about the Riot XO-U, which is a smaller version of the XO-M, but it utilizes the utility razor blades. This is a gift that you would gift to somebody who is using knives so often, using blades so often, cutting tasks so often that they will literally dull anything, right? There is no perfect blade steel out there. A lot of times you got somebody who works in construction, right, works with sheetrock or whatever. The answer is to just let them use disposable blades, or the answer is that the best types of blades are the disposable blades because they're going to destroy them anyway, right? But if they still like this enthusiast knife world, they're kind of interested in this stuff, they probably carry a really boring, like a Husky or Milwaukee Fastback style utility knife, which is fine. So this is a nice way to kind of spice that up and give them something fun and fidgety while still giving them a tool that is very, very utilitarian and has the benefit of the disposable blade. So the XO-U is going to operate the same way as the XO-M. It's a gravity knife. It's just a gravity utility knife, right? It's very easy to swap the blades out, making this a really, really fun gift. This is something that I gave to my dad, and he loves it and uses it all the time. It does the same thing as a utility knife. It's quite a bit more expensive than a standard utility knife, considering it's $77, but it will put a smile on their face, and that's what you're trying to do. That's why you're watching this video. You want to put a smile on their face. I can promise you the XO-U will put a smile on someone's face. Moving on here to number 3. This is just a smart move. If you're trying to buy a really, really nice pocket knife for somebody and you're on a budget, but you still want it to be capable, you want it to last for a long time, it's the Civivi Vision FG. This might be the best overall dollar-for-dollar knife in existence ever, right? It's not going to be quite as durable as something like the SR1, but it is that what it was, the SR1 Lite? Yeah, it's substantially easier to manipulate. Super friendly, very fidgety. The super lock is exactly that. It is a super lock that is overkill for the vast majority of tasks, right? So it's not necessarily that it needs something as strong as the triad lock to be a really, really good knife. It's a great size, great overall compact size, whether it's open or closed. So easy to manipulate. Civivi makes an incredible high quality knife at this price point. These are not quite what I call budget knives, considering they start at about $78, but the combination of the fit and finish, the ease of manipulation, the durability, fidget factor, all of that stuff, it's just a really, really good knife. Not everybody loves the aesthetic of it, but you'll find that this is one of the most recommended EDC knives in general. To cap it all off, the locking system itself is ambidextrous, and you also have right and left-handed mounts for the pocket clip, making it a perfect gift for literally anybody. If you're like, I have no idea what to buy, I don't know like if any of these gifts on this list are for, you know, my specific person, Vision FG. There's your answer right there. If you are unsure, this is the safest bet. Go with this. Moving on here to number 2, this is going to be a much more expensive item, but really cool if you're trying to buy a really fun gift for the knife enthusiast who has a lot of stuff. They might not have the Pyrotek Kraken. This is an incredible tool, very, very reminiscent of the Benchmade 940. It's kind of like the Benchmade 940 meets the Chris Reeve Sebenza. Many of you will know what I'm talking about, but really nice, really stylish, incredibly high-quality blade steel. S90V is definitely one of the best user compositions out there, and you can also get it in DLC, which is going to add corrosion resistance. It's also going to make it really, really hard to scratch. I love this knife. It's so cool, but it's not just the materials. This has a fun little secret. It's actually got scales that are held on magnetically. I'm going to turn it this way because this has a filler tab, and yes, it is. You can pop that filler tab out right here, and you can swap this pocket clip over. So if you're buying this for a left-handed person or right-handed person, it doesn't matter. But these really, really strong magnets allow for very easy maintenance without having to take the knife completely apart. And when they're back on, they are completely and totally solid. It would be extremely unlikely that these would pop up. I made it look really easy to pull these off. It actually takes quite a bit of effort and in a specific spot on the knife. Otherwise, they don't move, they don't come off. But this makes this a really fun and very ideal EDC pocket tool, just because not only will it work well as a knife and hold an edge like forever. I mean, these are, I think they harden these to like 61.5 HRC, which is incredible for a steel like S90V. This is a super premium luxury pocket knife that's just going to cut and cut and cut. It's going to be plenty durable. It's got a nice crossbar locking system that is able to be manipulated easily by right or left hand. But also it's easy to perform maintenance on, making it that much easier on the user. So if you're trying to get a really, really nice gift and it's, maybe it's for a left-handed, right-handed person, this is going to be very, very appealing to pretty much anybody. These are expensive at about $300, but in my opinion, I mean, I have literally thousands of uploads on this channel. I've reviewed knives that cost substantially more, and I can tell you, in this general competition zone, the Pyrotek Kraken, as I call it, I know it's pronounced Kraken, this is definitely one of the best and most unique at this price point, for sure. And then moving on to number 1, and I should have said this at the beginning, but these are in no particular order. If you're, again, trying to find a gift for that person who if your budget's a little higher, you're trying to find a unique knife gift for that person who seems to have it all, and they like the fidgety stuff, they like the weird stuff. I would absolutely also recommend the Remet RT Swordfish gravity knife. Much like the Riot Exo, it is a gravity knife, but this is the gravity knife that you pick up if you want something extremely premium. It also has a really unique system that allows it to operate. It's got a switch you push up on, and these 2 wings come out of the side. The entire case is titanium. This is the DLC version with the really cool texturing here. On the other side, and I know a lot of people are gonna think this is ugly. This is a camo carbon fiber. I forget what they call it, like a nebula carbon fiber. This can be popped out, and there's a number of different scale, colors and options that you can pick up with this knife. It doesn't have to be black. They have both satin and black. They also have different blade shapes, and then they have a number of different inlays. So if you want something just like plain black carbon fiber, they have that too. This is really, really cool, super smooth. It is a gravity knife, so you do need to check the laws, but this is sure to put a smile on somebody's face, and it might be a knife that it's much more likely that the person you're buying this gift for either doesn't own something like this or has never seen something like this. So if you're trying to impress somebody, this is the type of stuff that always puts a smile on my friends' faces. This is the type of stuff that they always ask me, do you have anything new or weird or anything, that's just super cool? This is the type of super cool knife gift that you give to that person who also likes the premium stuff. This is going to be more expensive at about $222, but it does come with M390 steel, and like I said, has a titanium case and is made super, super well. So highly, highly recommendable. That is it. That was my top 20 list. Hopefully you found something that you can gift a loved one, a significant other, somebody important in your life, right? Whether you're trying to put a smile on their face or you're just really trying to impress them, or maybe both. Hopefully you found something. That's going to be it today, guys. Like I said, everything that I listed here will be linked down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.